Are you concerned about the water in your RV? Have you thought about adding a water filtration system? Have you thought about adding a reverse osmosis system? Well, we've added both. Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Real Trailer Life. My name is Patrick.
And I am Wendy.
And today we are talking water, specifically fresh water. When we first started RVing, we did quite a bit of research on water and different types of water filtration systems.
We ended up going with the Berkey.
We did, and we had the Berkey for a long time.
We not only used it in our RV, we also used it in our home.
Right, and then at some point we started seeing that there was quite a bit of bad publicity about Berkey. One of the things is they didn't want to get NSF certified, which to us was a little strange that they wouldn't want to do that.
I mean, I think the whole thing for me, was I didn't want something sitting on the counter.
That was a big thing as well. And then they also had some more bad publicity where the EPA actually classified their filters as pesticides. And I know that there's a lawsuit right now, or there was a lawsuit with Berkey suing the EPA concerning that. So,
well, when we did use that system, we did like it.
Yeah, it was a great system,
yeah.
And we had no problems with it at all.
But so moving forward, I didn't want that on the counter. Right. In our RV.
So then we decided that once we moved into our Brinkley that we wanted to come up with a different option that didn't cause us to put a Berkey or something on our countertop. Mm-hmm. And if you just want to follow along today, we're going to discuss what some of those options are and what we decided to do. So what choices have we made on what products? We're going to kind of discuss the pros and the cons of the systems that we have. And then lastly, we're going to share a discount code for a reverse osmosis system that we ended up putting into our 2025 Brinkley Z 3100. But let's first talk about ABC Upfitters.
They're out of Elkhart, Indiana.
They are, and they design and install RV solar systems into RVs. So whether you have a Class A, a Class B, a Class C,
a van,
a travel trailer, or even
anything.
A fifth wheel, mm-hmm. They can design a system that will fulfill your needs. And they use Mastervolt products, and Mastervolt's pretty well known through the RV industry and the marine industries. And they can design a system that's right for you and for your needs. And they can be reached at 574-333-3225. And feel free to contact them for a free consultation where they will ask you how you plan to use your RV, especially in an off-grid situation. And then they can design a system that is personalized for you and your RV. And if you are not solar professionals, which we are not, they will be glad to explain everything in terms that you will understand. And trust me, you won't be disappointed with ABC Upfitters. Now, back to the fresh water discussion. So after we did some research, we ended up finding Blue Technology and their water filter system. And we ended up purchasing the Blue Technology water filter system. It's a 3-step system. And then we also added the Blue Technology water softener.
It was also one of the first modifications you did.
It is. It's like, yeah, we did that when we were still up in Minnesota before we even hit the road. And everything was going great. We loved the Blue Technology system.
Still do.
Until we got to...
Well, I still love the system.
Yeah, the system, great. And we're not going to get rid of that system. I mean, it still does what it's supposed to do. It removes the sediments and it filters out a lot of the bad stuff that we just don't want in our water.
I think the issue that we hit was here in southern Arizona.
And what was that?
The issue of too much salt in their water. So the water that comes out of the spigots is extremely salty.
And I don't know that it's necessarily salt, but it tastes salty. So it's like sodium chloride or some kind of something that's just causing the water to taste really salty. And the RV park here even has what they claim to be a reverse osmosis filter system that you can go fill up a jug of water. And unfortunately,
which then takes up room on your counter.
We're back to having something on our counter.
And the other problem with it is, I don't know what it is about it, but when I drink that water, it gives me like a faint heartburn feeling, like the It's just an uncomfortable feeling in my chest.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter whether you mix one of your powders into it or anything like that. It still has this weird kind of taste to it. And even the water that we put at our bedside at night has a really funky taste.
Well, it has to be changed constant.
So we started doing some more research. We reached out to Blue Technology and we asked them, hey, you know, is there any way for your system to remove the saltwater taste? And they came back and said, unfortunately, our system does not remove that salty taste or salts out of the water. And the only way to do that would be to add a reverse osmosis system.
Which is what our next research was going to be all about.
Right. Now, we especially wanted one that was going to work amazing in an RV. And, you know, a majority of these, they require a lot of different things. Some of the things we found out about reverse osmosis systems is, number one, they are expensive. Now, there are some units that are as low as $149 and $249. Not really sure how reliable those units are going to be compared to some of the ones that are on the higher end in the $700 up to $2,000 range. One of the biggest things that we discovered, and I didn't know, or we didn't know, is that reverse osmosis creates a lot of wastewater.
So like when you're RVing, you don't want a lot of wastewater going into your gray tanks and filling them up.
Right, and some of these RO systems, they are a 1-to-3 or a 1-to-4 ratio. For every 1 gallon of drinkable, usable water, they're wasting 3 to 4 gallons of water, which to us in a boondocking situation is not the best scenario. And then a lot of RO systems require you to have a storage tank, which again takes up room. And as everybody knows, space in an RV is extremely critical.
So we were on the hunt for a system that wouldn't take up counter space, wouldn't have a big tank, and then also we were hoping not to have to do something with
the electrical
system.
Yeah, so a majority of the RO systems out there require power. So you would have to have some type of power near the unit, and we plan on putting it under our sink, and there is no electrical under our sink. Now, we could hire somebody or we could do an electrical outlet under there. I'm not an electrician, so I don't feel really comfortable working with electricity. So we would have to hire that out. We also looked at getting a tankless unit. And the tankless units, which takes up, well, about the same amount of space as the non-tankless units, or the ones that have tanks, they take up about the same amount of space, but the cost just drives right up. I mean, some of those units can get as high as $2,000. Lastly, one of the biggest things about RO systems is they're very slow in creating drinking water. It goes through, you know, a filter system, whether it's 1 or 2 or 3 filters, and then it has to go through a reverse osmosis membrane, and that process is extremely slow. So a lot of times you're not going to have unlimited supply of on-demand water. If it has a tank, you're limited to what the tank can hold before it has to refill that tank in order to get that fresh water to you. And the other thing about RO water is it just coming straight out of the RO system, if it's just coming straight out of the membrane, the water's going to taste really flat, almost like distilled water. And I don't know if you've ever tasted distilled water.
The only RO water that I've had was the stuff in this campground that I'm questioning it.
Yeah, I don't know that it's really RO water. So,
it might be, but maybe the filters need, who knows?
Right.
System.
Now, the other thing about RO water is that it will remove everything. So, like all of the good minerals, all of the bad minerals. And that's one of the reasons why it tastes so flat. So some of these systems actually have regen or remineralization filters in there that will add good minerals back into that water in order to give it that nice fresh water taste. So it actually tastes like water. If you get those units, then you're actually looking at a higher cost because now you have another filter that you have to add, which adds the the good nutrients back to it. Another downside about RO filters is that you have to replace them. I mean, that's kind of obvious, kind of goes without saying.
Are they expensive?
It's almost like buying a printer. You know, you can get a printer for $49, and when you have to replace the cartridges, it's $149. It's the ink, right? So some of these systems, filters can be extremely expensive to replace, and that's one of the things that we really wanted to make sure that we researched when we were trying to find the specific unit that we wanted. So we started looking at different brands. One of the first brands that we looked at was Water Drop Filter, and they're extremely popular. They have a wide variety of different units.
I think, wasn't that the one that when we were at that gathering that someone brought me
yes, they did
glass
have a water drop.
And that was a water drop system.
Yeah, so we do happy hours here at the campground, and somebody had an RO system in their rig, and they actually brought a sample of water for us to taste out of their RO system.
It was good. I mean, it was wet.
It sure tasted a lot better than the water that's coming out of the campground's RO system.
Absolutely.
Now, the couple of reasons why they stood out to us is, number one, they were tankless. But the cost was extremely high.
Yeah, you said like up to $2,000?
Yeah, somewhere between $700 and $2,000 for their tankless units, and we were specifically looking at the tankless units. But we would also have to add electricity underneath our sink, which is one of the things we were really trying to get away from doing. So we did some more research, and we found the RO system that we think is going to be perfect for us. And it's not only perfect for us, it's perfect for RVing, in our opinion. What did we find?
We found the cloud water system.
Yeah, the cloud water filter system is pretty amazing. So the cost straight off the shelf with no discounts is $749. Right now they're doing a holiday special where you can get $150 off. So that drove the price down to $599, which I think was pretty reasonable. But that $150 discount is not going to last the entire season. So we do have a discount code that we're going to share with you at the end of the video, so you can get some dollars off of your...
It's a good chunk of money off.
It is, yeah. So the system also includes the regenerating or the mineral regeneration. So it does add minerals back into the water, and it makes the water taste more like real water again. And what's the wastewater ratio?
1-to-1.
1-to-1.
1 gallon of fresh drinkable water to 1 gallon of wastewater. So for us, that was huge. That was a big clincher in our decision.
Yeah, so especially if you're going to be doing any boondocking, you don't want to have 1 gallon of water and 3 gallons of wastewater. 1 gallon of water to 1 gallon of wastewater is a lot more stomachable, for lack of better terms. And this means that our gray tanks won't be filling up as much as they would if we had a 1-to-3 or a 1-to-4 ratio. So again, if we don't have sewer hookups, we're not going to be filling our gray tanks as fast. Now the biggest thing is we don't have to run an electrical outlet to power this unit. Why is that?
Because it's battery operated.
Right. So the system comes with a battery, and that just blew me away. And yeah, so there is no electrical. In fact, the battery that the system comes with, the battery can last up to 2 years. Now, why is this important? First of all, we don't need to run an electrical outlet. Second of all, when you're boondocking and you're worried about power conservation, you're not using any power from your RV's electrical system, which is huge. And then every time that you order a new set of filters,
you get a new battery.
A new battery, and that's pretty amazing.
How much are the filters?
So the filters right now are $200. And the other thing that's really nice about cloud water systems is that they don't arbitrarily just pick a date and say, hey, we're going to time your filters out at 90 days. Well, it would be more like a year or 2 years. They actually have an app, and we're going to discuss that a little bit later, but they monitor your filters, and they only ask you to replace them when they actually need to be replaced. Now, it does have a tank.
It does have a tank, but it's a little over
2.8 gallons.
Yeah, just under 3 gallons.
Right. And so it's not a huge tank, it's not a small tank, but
It's going to take up space under our sink,
It
which is
is.
where we're going to put it. But I can find other places for the few bottles of cleaning supplies or whatever else we had under there.
yeah, and I think we're going to add a shelf under there, so it'll give us
Oh,
like
yeah.
twice the room in there as well. But the 2.8 gallons, so it's almost 3 gallons of water, and very rarely are we going to be pulling 2 gallons of water straight off of our RO system. You know, we'll fill water bottles. You know, it's what, 32 ounces times 2, 64 ounces or whatever the case
Fill
might
water
be.
bottles, fill dog dishes,
Right.
just drinking it throughout the day. Dog dishes, dog drinking water. Coffee.
Right.
That, you know, our coffee tasted weird
It does.
with
It does
the water
right now, yeah.
that we're using now. It definitely has a different taste to it.
So the other thing is the install on this is extremely easy. Cloud water filter systems, they have a video that is so easy to, that shows how easy it is to install this system.
So a DIYer could do it themselves.
Yeah, so I plan on doing it myself, and it should go relatively well. The other thing is the filter replacement is super simple. You order the filters when they arrive. You literally take the cover off the main unit. You twist and pull a cartridge out. You put a new cartridge in, twist it, and it's that simple.
And that's when you would replace the battery too.
Yeah, because it's going to ship with a brand new battery. Yeah. Now, let's talk a little bit about their app. And this is another amazing thing because a lot of these systems don't come with apps that will tell you what's going on with your RO system.
There's an app for that.
There is an app for that.
You love those apps.
Their app monitors the filter replacement, which we talked about a little earlier. They're going to let you know when it's getting close to be time to replace those filters based off of
your usage,
not off of an arbitrary date or timeline. They also track how much water you use, which is pretty interesting. So it will tell you how many plastic bottles you've saved over the time that you've been using your RO system.
Not that we use plastic bottles anyway.
We don't, but some people do.
Some people do, yeah.
And then it'll also keep tabs on the pH level of the drinking water. And the pH level is pretty important because that also helps with the taste of the water.
What was that cool thing you were doing where you were put those...
Yeah, we have
dipstick
we have drinking water test strips.
Okay, that's what it was.
And they test the different mineral compounds that are in different waters. And we took some from straight out of the spigot. We took some from straight out of the spigot after it's been through the Blue Technology and water softener system.
From out of our sink.
Out of our sink, yep. And then we also took a test of the RO water system.
From the big bag on our counter.
The big bag on our counter. And this is a Wolverine bag. If you don't know what Wolverine bags are, we highly suggest that if you're an RVer, you have a couple of RV bags or water bags. These are 5.3 gallons each. These are extremely durable and they're amazing bags. So we just happened to have them. We didn't even think about it.
Yeah, we didn't know that this was going to be a water issue here.
And we had them. And of course, now we have used them and they're amazing. So
I just want it off my counter.
Right. So another thing that's really nice about the cloud water systems is that they are NSF certified. Then that was important for us. I think that we wanted to make sure that we have something that's certified. And then another big thing is they actually have 4 different finishes on their faucets.
Oh, right. And I really like the Brinkley faucet.
Yeah.
I love it. I love the look of it, and so I wanted something that matched.
Yeah, so the Brinkley faucet in the kitchen is a brushed gold, and you can order a brushed gold through Cloud Water. They have a shiny silver, they have a brushed silver, and then they have a black matte finish too. So it's nice that you can pick out what faucet tone you want. We are still using the Blue Technology water system. And basically what that's doing is that's filtering our water, taking a lot of the sediments and stuff out of it before it reaches to our RO system, which Cloud water filters suggest that if you are running on a well system with our RO systems, that you should still filter the water. So we are being compliant in that.
And a lot of campgrounds are well water.
Almost a majority of the campgrounds are well water, so that helps as well. We believe that we're going to be extremely happy with this product. Once we get it installed, we'll give it a test and we'll come back and let you know what we thought. But now we can actually have clean and safe drinking water, which is...
It doesn't give me heartburn.
Right. And now we have no affiliation with Cloud. We bought the product just like you're going to buy the product. We did get a discount, but they're offering everybody the discount. And we do have a discount code that they supplied to us that we will put in the show notes. It'll give you $100 off. And that's a big savings.
That's a good savings, yeah.
So if you enjoyed learning about cloud water systems, please like this video and subscribe to our channel so that you can get notifications when our next video comes out. Until then, safe travels, stay adventurous, and we'll see you the next time.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.